Hey guys, so I am going to paint for you a pig, a little piggy poo. I spent the whole day pretty much, not the whole day, that's a lie. I visited with my mom for a lot of the day, and then when I came into my studio and started to paint, nothing was feeling right. I felt like I was tense and struggling and just kind of wanted to throw in the paper towel, get it? Um, Sorry, that was a bad watercolor joke. Because we use paper towels to soak. Yeah. Anyway, so after struggling and being too tense, I decided to do something fun to loosen up, to end my night and to end my weekend. Actually, have to go back to work tomorrow, so I wanted to end it on a good note where I just felt like I had some fun instead of struggle. So that brought me to the little pig that I had drawn previously in my sketchbook. And here we go. Here's the drawing of the pig, Piggy Poo. I'll show you a picture of it in a minute. And so I just transferred it onto some watercolor paper. And this is paper that I pretty much use just for practicing and playing around. I don't feel like it's not very expensive necessarily, like Arches or something like that. It's acid free, it's cold press, heavyweight, it's 140, made in Italy, by the way. I don't know who actually makes this paper, but it is a pretty decent paper to just kind of play around and practice on. It's got a little bit of texture, not much toothiness. What I will say, however, about it is it does lift very easily. So if you want to go over and layer, you disturb the paint underneath very easily. It's not very easy to go over the top. The paint doesn't really, it seems to just sit on the paper instead of soaking in. Also, I notice if I'm not careful when I pull up the tape, it does tear the paper. So that paper you can get at Michael's. I don't know if that's the only place you can get it. That is where I got it. So what I'm going to do is a colorful version of Mr. Pig here. Took this photo out, actually it actually says there, October, in the fall of 2022, out at a, it's called Fur Point Farms out in Canby, Oregon. They have a great little lunch spot. So I went there with a friend and took some pictures of the animals, and the pig is one that I've sketched out. So I thought I'd have some fun with it. What I'm going to do is get mixed up on my palette here some bright colors. I've got a couple here. I'm not really sure what that is, but it's bright and nice. I'm pretty sure this is yellow ochre, maybe raw sienna, something like that. I want to get some Quinacradone gold. That's nice bright color. I'm going to go with Quinacradone Magenta. We're going to stick that over here. I want to have all these kind of ready to go because I'm going to be slapping that color down pretty quick if I can. I've got some Horizon Blue. I really like that color. Haven't used a whole lot of it. It's by Holbein, but I'm going to squeeze out a little bit there. And Lavender is another color that's fun. And we'll get some of that over here. Got some chunks in there. Got to make sure those are worked out before I start painting. I'm going to go for a little cobalt blue as well. Put over here a little Hooker's green. And maybe a little bit more. That's pretty strong color though, so I don't need too much of it. Let's see. Oh, I was going to do Cobalt Violet Light, which is this color. It's very expensive. I don't use it very much because of that. It's super expensive. Like I think, ooh geez, maybe 30 bucks a tube. And I have here titanium white. I'm going to want to make this Quinacradone Magenta just a little bit more of a pastel. So here we go. Ready, set, go. I want to get my pig's ear wet. Need to grab a paper towel. Not too wet because I've got some pretty juicy color over there, but I do want a little bit of moisture on the paper so my color spreads. Isn't that fun? I'm just going to very loosely put that on there. I think I'm going to add a little of that yellow ochre or whatever it is. I'm going to actually just let that spread around a little bit. Come over onto this ear. Same idea. I'm going to get the paper wet beyond what I'm painting so the edges stay soft. Actually, while this is still wet, I think I'll just touch in some of that Cobalt. Maybe a touch of water. Let it kind of blossom. I like to do that on purpose. Okay, so now we're going to come over to this ear, make sure it's still got a sheen. And same idea. I'm just going to touch in that beautiful pastel pink. It's all about having fun. I'm going to grab maybe a little bit of that lavender. And some cobalt blue. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the Quinacradone Magenta that isn't so pastel. And we're just going to put that right inside there. I'm staying away a little bit from the edge, leaving a little bit of a line there. Just keeping it really playful. And you see how this has created that soft edge. That's just what I wanted to happen. I didn't want a hard edge to form. I'm going to moisten this in here, stay away from the ear. And even as I say that, I came right up against it. That Quinacradone Gold is core color, and it just explodes when you put it on the paper. It's really beautiful. A little bit of green. We're going to get some of those other colors kind of mingling in there. And I'm going to moisten this. Touch that, and I'm okay with it because it's kind of cool, actually, when it explodes and you don't know what it's going to do. And get some of that whatever color that is. It might be burnt orange, I'm not sure. Carbazole Violet's another one that I think I'll put out here, a little bit of that. I'm going to go right over the eye there because the eye is in the shadow of its ear. I think I'll get a little burnt sienna. And drop in some of the cobalt blue, let that just mix itself. I want to add a little bit of this pink around the eye. And a little bit around this eye. Come up in here with some of that. Playing up the color a little, this pig was not very colorful, was he? Pink ears, you know, he wasn't a pink pig. He was kind of a white speckled pig. And I'm gonna grab a big filbert. I just got this brush. It's a Bloom's brush, number 12 Princeton. And I'm just gonna get that kind of hairy looking. Is it hair? Do the pigs have hair? It's not fur. What is it? Just gonna use that edge of that brush to get some of that texture going. It's kind of fun. And I'm gonna come back in here. Maybe not with that brush. I'll spread that out a little bit. That's kind of a little too much texture for there. A bit more of that Carbazole. And I'm going to go with a different blue there. Let's go with the Phthalo blue. Pretty watery there. Get around this little nose here, snout. We'll add some of those pinks over in here too. A little bit of it up the nose. Keep calling it a nose, it's a snout. So that's a pretty yellowish green, or yellowish orange. I want to go with more of a red orange. And I'm going to touch in some cobalt blue. Bring a little bit of that in there. So I want kind of a yellowish brown color for the snout. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little green. Maybe a little bit more blue. It's not really black nose. It's kind of more of a pink, I suppose. Bring that out a little bit. This out. Look more snout-like. This is royal blue right here. It's a darker blue, and I want to get some good darks for the eyes without losing color. So kind of like that. Royal blue and Hooker's green. And we're going to go with this number 4 and get a thicker mix here. A little bit of burnt orange in that purple. I'm just going to touch in a little bit on the snout. A little bit of a glow up there, so let's put some of that yellow and a little bit of the pink up in there. And you can see, maybe, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm having a real hard time keeping that paint from being disturbed as I go over the top. So that's only one of the only pitfalls of these less expensive papers sometimes. And just start playing around with adding some color and some detail in there without getting too carried away. A bit more pink over here. Remind myself to move to a bigger brush. It does help a little bit to have more of the body of the brush to spread those colors around. The little brush is a little too pointy, and it tends to make more lines than I would like. So more burnt sienna and cobalt to get some of these little lines around here. The thing about this brush, even though it's bigger, fatter belly, it's got a nice tip on it, so you can actually come up and make those fine little lines that you need. I'm so bad about splattering. Add some water first. I'm gonna come all the way down here. Again, I splatter. This is my bad. That's okay though. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it is okay. Kind of liking that yellow. As the paint dries, it definitely gets lighter. So what I put down initially has dried quite a bit lighter. So going back over it with some darker values. Adding the white to the pink there makes it almost behave like gouache, which I'm starting to experiment with. That is fun. We're getting little pops of dark in here that's making this start to come together. I'm liking it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it though, however. I want to give the ever so slightest look of depth. I'm going to let this dry for a minute. Like I said, I'm not going to go too far with it, but there are some final little things that I'm thinking about doing in keeping with that play, experimenting mentality. So we'll come back when this is dry. Okay, so I've got a couple of little markers. First of all, one that I love to death is this Kuretake brush pen, brush liner. It's got this really nice tip on it, and it just makes these great little lines, really loose. So I'm going to use that. And I've got this Molotow one for all. This is a 2mm, maybe a little bit bigger than I would use. If I had a 1mm, I would use that instead, but I have these on hand. So in the spirit of playing, I'm going to use the pink one and a purple one, only two I have, and we're just going to make some marks with them and make it fun. So we've got our pink. I'm just going to kind of make some extra little squiggles. Brighten it up a little bit. And try not to overdo it. That's a pretty bright color, so I just am trying to keep it a little bit on the minimal side. This one is kind of interesting. It's a little bit waterier. I don't know why that is. If it's like supposed to be pearlescent, I can't actually remember, or maybe I just haven't shaken it up enough. Let's see if that helped anything. Nah, it's a little bit better, but okay, so I'm just gonna use that to outline a little bit there, and maybe a little bit there, a little bit here. Just a slight little brighter pop of color in a couple of places. Once it's dry, you can't work with it, so smudging it with my finger. Now, let's kind of like it smudged, actually. Now we're going to come around this little piggy poo, and I'm just going to kind of come around playfully, pigfully, a little darker around the eyeball. I'm getting the ink all over me. We're going to come right down along this jaw. Try not to put my hand in it. And there's a few little sprigs up here. And I don't care if its ear isn't curvy. I kind of like the way it looks, so there. And I think our pig is done. I may do it again, but this was a fun way to end my weekend. I'm going to go sit down now and think about how I can't wait to get back to my studio to have fun again. So hope you guys like this video of the little piggy poo, my little playful end of the night painting, little impromptu as far as YouTube goes, but I wanted you guys to see what I do when I'm feeling a bit discouraged. I get out some brushes and some practice paper and start playing and painting something that is enjoyable, something that I like. And I must like pigs. Hope you guys enjoyed this painting of little piggy poo. It was fun for me to paint, and it really did help me get out of the struggle that I was feeling for most of the day when I was painting. So I would encourage you to do the same if you're feeling stuck in a rut and uninspired and discouraged, whatever it is. Grab some of your favorite paints, grab your brushes. Scrap paper's great because it really eliminates that feeling that you have to do something great. Just start slapping the color down. It is so much fun when you don't have any expectations. So I would encourage y'all to do that. And until next time, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share this channel. If you do that, I greatly appreciate it. It helps get the word out there. So thanks for watching this little impromptu, colorful pig painting. Until the next time, happy painting. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.